Good morning. Charlie O'Hara back in the studio today, here to answer your legal questions. We have quite a few calls on the line already for you, Charlie.
Well, good.
So let's go ahead and get right to those so we can get as many as we can. Hi, good morning. What's your question? Hello?
Hello?
Hi, you're on the line. Go ahead. What's your question for Charlie?
Yes, I was wondering about the common law marriage laws in the state of Kansas. Do they recognize that?
They do, yes. What usually happens with it, if you would tell someone, I mean, you have to have the capacity to get married. I mean, you can't be married to somebody else, and you have to have the ability to be together or something like that. And if you intend to be together, then that's what it is. But you have to give some outwardly sign, or you have to intend between the parties. One party just can't claim we're married. The other party say, I never agreed to be married. But if you go out and you get a lease or rent a place and as husband and wife, or you get a counsel in a bank as husband and wife, or you file your income tax returns as husband and wife, and you have the ability to get married, then you're married.
Okay, so do you have to get divorced?
Yes, you would.
Okay.
Yes, you would. If you're legally married, you have to get divorced before you can marry somebody else.
Okay, good to know. Thanks, Charlie. Good question. We have time now for another one this morning. Hi there. What's your question for Charlie?
Hi, I was wondering what legal steps I would take. I had an incident with a pawn shop where I had some items that were in pawn, and I was making payments on them, and I went to redeem the item. They weren't able to find it, and they told me that I had already picked it up. And at that particular point, they said there was nothing that I could do. They didn't have to show me anything I signed to say that I redeemed it. Is there anything that I can do?
Well, obviously, that's a lawsuit all over the place. Pawn shops actually have to have licenses from the city, and they have to be licensed by the city to do it, and they have certain regulations. But in that instance, there's a factual argument over whether you picked it up or not. If you didn't pick it up, then you can sue them. If the items are worth a lot of money or a substantial amount of money, you might want to contact an attorney about that. If they're not, we have what we call small claims court, where you can go and represent yourself, and then the pawn shop would have a representative from the pawn shop representing them, not an attorney, and you could argue about the facts. But that's a factual question. They say you picked it up, you say you didn't. That's an argument. You probably need to go to court to solve that.
Okay, good advice. Thanks, Charlie. We have time now for one more this morning. Hi, good morning. You're on the line. What's your question for Charlie?
Well, I would like to go ahead and give my property to my children, and I was a little afraid that it might incur some tax problems from them. All I want to do is go down and put their names on my property.
Well, what you probably need to do in that instance, I don't know what the property's worth. There are regulations about that. If you have an accountant, a CPA can probably give you a lot of the regulations so that you know how to do that. If it's substantial property and there's a lot involved in it and tax consequences on both sides, you probably want to go to a tax attorney. But a combination of either one of those will get you on the right track. I think I'd start with an accountant. If you have an accountant, they can tell you what you can give gift tax-wise, which would not be income tax. And there's a way to do that, so much per year. And you can do all those things, but you need to plan it ahead so you don't get in tax trouble.
Have you seen that happen before, where people try to give something or leave something, and then the people who it's been left to incur a lot of debt or have to pay a lot of taxes on it?
Well, yeah, and that can happen. I mean, if you're going to give something away, you need to know the regulations so you know how to do it right.
Okay. Thank you, Charlie. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Have a good week.